Hey, my beloved son. Good afternoon. For today's question is why reading is important. What happens if you read and if you don't read? Questions answered today. Let's go. First of all, you can't hunt for ideas if you don't read newsletter on Substack. Seriously, son, how can you collect ideas from other writers if you don't read? How can you educate yourself if you don't read newsletter? How can you make better decisions for yourself if you don't read? And the most important question is how can your kids learn, make better decisions, and educate themselves if they don't read too? Right? It doesn't make sense. First of all, it's not your fault. The problem here is not you. The actual problem here is not scheduling what time to read. And that's okay, that's valid. Maybe because nobody taught you about this concept, right? And maybe you were thinking maybe the school is enough. Why? Because the school is teaching your kids to make better decisions. First of all, what are your kids learning from school, right? And that's okay, son. Here's what happens if you don't read, son. Of course, you can't hunt for ideas. You can't collect lessons from other writers, their life lessons, their mistakes, their life experiences. You can't. So, what happens? Of course, you can't make better decisions. You can't educate yourself about a particular topic. You are still the same, right? So, let's dig in the most important questions here. First one, if you don't read, son, what are your kids seeing from your action here? Of course, your kids see you not having a reading habit. So, what happens? They grow up not reading too because you never expose them with to reading. They never had a chance to read. They never had a chance to learn like why reading is so important, why reading matters. The bottom line is your kids will not read because you are not reading too. Remember, your kids are a reflection of you because they are watching your actions. You never modeled reading, so no wonder why they are not reading too, right? Next question. What are you teaching them here? If you don't read, you are teaching your kids that kids, reading is not that important. It doesn't it it's not a big deal. Like it's so simple reading, like come on. So your kids grow up learning that reading is not important because dad said that, or dad never tell us that reading is the best way to educate ourselves. Your kids grow up learning that kind of mindset. So they grow up, they get older not reading because that's what it teach, right? Now, what chances are you not giving them? Of course, you don't give your kids a chance to make friends with other writers on Substack. Oops. You don't give them chance to educate themselves so they make better decisions for themselves without relying you 24/7. You are not exposing them to reading. You never scheduled what time they should read, right? What kids are you raising here, son? Do you want to raise immature kids, insensitive kids, not educated kids? Do you want to raise kids who can't make better decisions for themselves? Do you want to raise kids who make bad decisions, choosing the right friends, choosing the right food, choosing the right mentors, choosing the wrong community? I know you want your kids to be well informed, well educated, right? Now, here's what you need to do here, son. Okay, let me fix the camera. Okay, here's what you need to do so your kids grow up well educated. Schedule their time to read and follow each day. For example, your kids read at 1 p.m. Okay, your kid read your kids read newsletter on Substack at 1 p.m. That's what I'm talking about. Why it's so effective? Because when you schedule what time they will read, they will follow it, right? They don't need uh, motivation, inspiration, like, oh, I feel like I want to read. No, they don't need that because you scheduled their routine, reading routine. You scheduled 1 p.m., they will read, right? That's why it's so effective. Why is it so effective? Of course, they have appointments, they have scheduled routines, they know what to do, right? So what happens here? What are the benefits? Okay, of course, when they start reading, they they learn, they grow, they think better. For example, they make better decisions. What kind of people to surround themselves? What kind of friends to hang out with? What kind of identity they tell themselves? They make better decisions because they educate themselves, right? They make better decisions. They hunt for ideas when they read. Imagine if they reading newsletter or even post on Substack, they you're giving them a chance to hunt and collect ideas in that ecosystem. Isn't it good, son? Right? Now, let's dig in for the most important questions here. First of all, okay, first of all, it starts with you, son, right? I always tell you, it starts with you. Let's say you scheduled what time you will read to. Let's say you will be reading at 1 p.m. each day. So, question, what are your kids seeing from you if you read at 1 p.m. each day? Of course, your kids see you reading at 1 p.m. So what will happen? They will copy what you did. They will read at 1 p.m. too because you show them what you will be doing at 1 p.m. You show them that you are reading at 1 p.m. You are modeling reading. That's why they copy what you do. They copy that you are reading, right? And What are you teaching your kids here? You are teaching your kids that, come on, reading is the best way to educate themselves and yourselves. It's non negotiable. Reading is the best way to hunt for ideas, the best way to collect ideas from other writers on Substack. Right? So your kids grow up learning this mindset that, oh my god, we should read because if we don't read, we stay immature, ignorant, insensitive, uneducated, well, not well informed, not well educated. Your kids will learn that mindset at such a young early age when they are 3 years old, 5 years old. If they see the value of reading, yeah. So, what home are you building here? So, you are building a home, an environment where reading is non negotiable, that reading is is part of their identity, it's part of what they do, it's part of their routine, it's part of their habits. That's what you teach son. So, right, isn't it good you are building home that reading is is what they do, reading is what they do, right? You are raising kids, reader kids, that uh, we can call them uh, ideas hunter, ideas collector. No, you're right. You can call your kids ideas hunter because if they understand that you are reading because you are hunting for ideas to write about, to learn from. I mean, isn't it good? It's a win-win situation because if you are reading and your kids are reading too, win-win situation, right? Sorry for my what's the English of tuhod? My knee. Yeah, sorry for the knee. Okay. Do you want do you want your kids to hunt for ideas from other writers? You know, to learn, make better decisions, to learn and educate themselves. Like, do you want your kids to have a reading habit, to be consistent with reading habit? Everything starts with you, son. Okay, let me fix the camera. Okay, it's brighter now. Okay, now let me give you how you will start this reading habit. Step one, install Substack account. Why? Because this is the best environment where writers shares their ideas, reads your ideas. This is a platform where we are all sharing we are helping each other grow, make better decisions. Step two, non negotiable, schedule what time to read. Of course, you are busy. You do many things. So, do you have time to read? Does your kids have time to read? Okay, let me repeat. Step two, schedule what time to read each day. Third, follow it. Follow through no matter what. This is non negotiable. Okay, let me repeat. For example, okay, step two. When I say schedule what time to read, okay, meaning you read at 1 p.m. Okay, visualize that. You read at 1 p.m. Write that on your schedule. So at every 1 p.m. each day, you read. Your kids read. That's how you build a reading habit. Okay. Now, how do you stay consistent with it? Of course, Follow step 3, follow through the scheduled reading habit. No matter what, whatever happens, whether you feel like you don't like it or not, whether you're not ready, whether you're not motivated, whether you don't like it, follow it because you will realize soon reading how important it is. Now, okay, how do you know if you did it? If you learned from this episode, if you read one newsletter today at 1 p.m., that's a win. That's a success. That's how you know you did it. That's how you learn from it. Second one, if your kids read at 1 p.m., if your kids read newsletter on Substack at 1 p.m. each day without you telling them, without you reminding them each day, that's it, son. That's how you know they are building reading habit. And same goes for you too. If you read at 1 p.m. each day, you are building a reading habit. Yeah, you can share. Okay, feel free to check my Substack account. So I'll be sharing my Substack account with you so you can see what newsletter I read every single day. So basically, me, I read at 1 p.m. So feel free to check it. Now, here are the common mistakes why you can't stay consistent with your reading habit. The misconception of you read because you feel like you want to read. Second, not scheduling what time to read is a big mistake, right? Obviously, if you don't have schedule, if you don't schedule what time to read, you're not gonna read. You will forget it. You will forget about it. You will forget that about this reading. So yeah, that's a common mistake, and yeah, it just works for me. I read at 1 p.m. So if I can do it, if I do it, if I can do it, you can do it too, son. You got this, of course. I believe in you, and maybe you're thinking right now, what are the common objections here? Okay, let me see. Let me check my Substack account. Oh, so sorry. Okay. Common objection. I just let me check my profile. Okay. Common objections. Okay. 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 One of the common objection is school not enough to teach your kids? Sure, school is a good way to learn, but at the end of the day, the teachers, it's not their job to teach your kids disrespect, kindness. They won't teach that at school. They will teach math, science, algebra, calculus. They won't teach about what how can you minimize venting? How can you start writing? Right? School is not enough. Your job is to educate yourself so you can educate your son, your kids. So and your kids, it's their job to read, to educate themselves too. And what are the common reasons why you will not take action, son? Okay, you're lazy. Maybe you're thinking that I can't do it because I I don't believe in you. I don't agree with you. I just can think the same way as you? That's hard question though. Okay, if there's one lesson I want you to learn from this is reading is how you hunt for ideas to write about, to learn from, so you make better decisions for yourself and for your kids. That's it. And common reasons, excuses why you won't take action: you don't have time to read. That's why you have to schedule it. Let me see your 24-hour schedules. Just kidding. Okay, so I think I've done with all the questions here. Thank you for choosing the right thing, son. Thank you for choosing to schedule what time to read for yourself and for your kids. I really appreciate that. And thank you. I just feel it. You will do it. And what else? I think that's pretty it. And before we end story time, first story, I had a student, and I just learned from him that giving compliments is good. And how can you do it? Compliment specific action, what people did. So he told me that he, I figured out what I wanted as a 25 years old, and that's good. And yeah, that's good. That's there's something about it. Compliment. There's something about it that can change your mood. Okay, I feel like wow, wow. It's like wow. I never thought that. I never. Yeah, I thought about that, but the power from other people is something. It's like this. Wow. There's a wow factor when people give specific compliment about my identity, my action, right? So, story number two. What else? Let me check my phone. I think I know, not my phone, my book. Okay. Story. Let me check. Okay, let me just read my notebook here. Yeah. Story number two is earlier, my mom wanted to own uh, a specific particular space in our garden, in our backyard. So she was telling me she will plant eggplants. She was asking me if I do seedlings, if I plant seedlings of eggplant, and I told her yes. And she wanted me she told me that she was planning to plant eggplant in that space where I have planned for. So I told her that, mom, I had a plan for that space, for that area to garden. And I realized, yeah, you really have to tell your boundaries. You can do two options. One is tell tell it, say it, or you can you can okay, you can show your boundaries by action or by words. One, you say it. Two, you leave. And and she was instructing me, sorry mom, like this is a story, and she was instructing me to put all the sand, the soil up there and not down. And I just left. That's how you set boundary. What else? Mm, yeah, we have two stories today. And what else? Did I forget something? Yeah, I think the nothing happened aside from that, or I mean, because what I do every day is the same, right? I exercise in the morning, I ride, I take a bath, I eat, I study, I read, I study copywriting, I study parenting, and I film podcast at 4 p.m. So that's pretty much I do every day. So yeah, I love story. I love creating moments now. Okay, okay, right. Story number three. I just remember now. I was thinking. Okay, listen, son. Right now, I am creating YouTube podcast. So in the future, I will be sharing this YouTube account with you, so you will continue this what I started. And I was thinking if I will have created 21,000 newsletter on Substack and 21,000 YouTube videos by the age of 85. So, son, you will have created 20,000 too. You will have filmed 21,000 YouTube podcasts. So, I'm going to share this YouTube account with you. So, and your children will have created 21,000 YouTube podcasts, and their children will do the same thing, and their children will do the same thing. So it starts with me. I mean, we can create 100,000 videos from my generation to your generation, and from your children's generation, and their generation, and their generation. So I think it's a good idea, right? Okay, son, bye for now, and I'm gonna do gardening now. Let me close it.